Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA. In today's real user review, we are going to be taking a look at the Gustin Indigo Monster Sashiko 5-pocket pants. Now, Gustin did send me these as a sample full review, but all of the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. I did not share this content with Gustin prior to publication. They will see this when you do. So I've now been wearing these for, I'd say a month, maybe a month and a half. I don't know. Time means nothing anymore. You can't even go by publishing dates because I've been doing so much that I get things, I start testing them, and it's like sometimes a week into testing before the unboxing and first impression video goes live because I've been swamped, but I love the hustle. I've been busting my ass, and I do enjoy the hustle in the grind. So I've been wearing these for a while now. And I will say, these are incredibly comfortable, especially in these colder months that we are currently stuck in here in northeastern Pennsylvania. It is finally warming up a tad, but it's back to being cold again today. And these have been basically my go-to pant for the really cold days. Like if it's been, we've had some mid-20s with wind chills that are way lower, and we've had some teens and some single-digit days that were with wind chills. We were below zero, and whenever we had those, I was most definitely reaching for the Sashiko pants. Now, they're not necessarily heavier than like a denim, but because the Sashiko is like a woven fabric, it's a lot softer. They just feel a lot more cozy and a lot more comfortable and warm when it's quite cold out. So the cold weather has been my go-to weather for these Sashiko pants. They have been great and awesome when it is chilly outside. But the Gustin Indigo Monster Sashiko 5-pocket pants come in at $169 USD. They are available in a straight, slim, or skinny fit, and at the time of filming, they are available in most sizes. Now, Sashiko is a traditional Japanese sewing technique, and the style and pattern is very recognizable once you see it. Now, these are made from a 12-ounce 100% cotton, and these are cut and sewn in California. Now, Gustin does recommend that you go up one waist size in the Monster Sashiko pants, and I did just that. I generally get a 34 in Gustin, so I went with a 35 waist, and they fit me perfectly. Basically like my 34s would fit in every other pair of my Gustin jeans. And for point of reference, I am 5'9", roughly 175 to 180 pounds, and I generally wear a 32 waist in a vanity size, but Gustin does not follow vanity size, so I wear a 34, which would be my 34.5-inch waist. And before we go any further, we're going to pump the brakes, and I'm going to talk about vanity sizing, because if you've not seen any of my other Gustin videos and you're looking at Gustin for the very first time, you might be confused. Vanity sizing is essentially whatever you buy off the shelf. Think about your pair of Levi's that you've been wearing for 100 years. In Levi's, I would wear a 32 by 32. So the waist of that 32 is actually 34.5 inches. If you don't believe me, grab a tape measure, preferably one of these thin tailor's tapes. They work much better for clothing and fabric. Measure your pants. You can use a regular tape measure. It will still work, just not as accurately. Go across the front and then multiply that by 2. You're going to get a 34 to 34.5-inch waist on a 32. So essentially, whatever your tagged waist size is in a vanity size, you're going to be about 2 to 2.5 inches bigger. It's vanity sizing for a reason, because we like to feel better about ourselves. So if I tell you you wear a 34.5-inch waist where you thought you've been a 32 for the past 20 years, you're going to feel a little bit bad about yourself. So vanity sizing just makes you feel a little bit better about yourself. But Gustin does not follow vanity sizing. So you would buy your pants waist size in the actual waist size that you'd be. So a 34 is a 34.5 in Gustin, which would be the equivalent to a 32 in a Levi's. And the Monster Sashiko, Gustin recommends that you size up one size, so I went with a 35 in Gustin, so I have a 35.5-inch waist in the Gustin, and they fit me good. They don't feel too big, they weren't too saggy, and I generally wear a belt all the time anyway, so they fit me fine. So I think the 34s probably would have fit me fine, but sizing up, it didn't make them too big. So I'm happy I did, and I followed the recommendation, because I'd rather my pants be a tiny bit too big than it be a tiny bit too small. Yes, you can shrink them, and yes, you can stretch them, and that 1 inch would probably be leeway either direction, but they were probably more comfortable right away getting them in the bigger size than if I got my standard size. So there's a little bit of the Gustin sizing breakdown. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Gustin, period, Gustin does do basically a crowdfunding. That's how their main products, if they get fully funded, you find something you like, you back it. If it gets fully funded, it gets made. Then you get your product. If it doesn't get fully funded, you get your money back. But in addition to that, they have a stock store where it's essentially the extra product, because they don't say they need to sell 100 pairs of jeans to fund this pair of jeans. Well, they sold that 100 and that's all they got made. No, they actually made more than that, because you have to factor in exchanges, returns, any kind of QC issues where they have to swap out for size, QC, anything like that. So they actually buy more than what is in the pre-order, so they have stock. And what they do is, once the pre-orders are fully fulfilled and there's no exchanging going on, that will then go up on the stock store, and that's where you get things like the Monster Sashiko, which is currently in the stock store. You don't have to back this. You can go to the stock store and order it right now and have it from a couple of days, depending upon where you are in the country. Gustin ships from San Francisco, California, so it takes about 3, 4, 5 days, depending upon the weekend or holiday, to get to me. I'm on the exact opposite side of the country. I'm in Pennsylvania. They're in San Francisco, California. So you draw a straight line across, and you're basically going to hit San Fran. So in the stock store, the Monster Sashiko, if that's what you wanted to get right now. Now, points of note with the Gustin Monster Sashiko in Indigo, these croc a lot, like a ton. That's why I don't wear them with this sweatshirt, which I got the same time, because this is the natural NEP colorway, which is like an off-white color. So I didn't want to have an indigo ring around the waistband with these. So I intentionally did not wear this with lighter colored objects. If you have a lightly colored couch or chair, you don't want to sit on in these, because they are 100% going to croc. Now, a wash will probably help to lift some of that indigo off, but I did not wash these yet. I did not cold soak these yet. And these are fading really, really nicely and way more rapidly than I had anticipated. But let me show you exactly what crocking is. This is crocking. All of that you see there, that is all indigo from the Monster Sashiko that rubbed off on these boots. These boots were brand new. The first time I wore these was with these pants. I did know that they were going to croc, and to be honest, I don't mind some of my boots that get crocking on them. I think it looks a lot better. It makes them look cooler, and I mean, like, they're very, very indigo at this point. And I did it intentionally with this brand new pair of boots because I wanted to see how much these would croc, and they crocked quite a bit. In fact, if you watch my unboxing video, I had to stop. I looked at these first, and I had to stop and go upstairs and wash my hands because my hands were very blue and I didn't want the indigo to rub off on the sweatshirt before I had even tried it on. So I had to stop and go wash my hands. That's how much these were crocking. And I mean, it's okay to me. I don't really mind. That's the intention of when you're wearing selvage and Sashiko and any of these heritage, you got to expect some crocking on some of your things. And I kind of like it on most of my things. There's a few pairs of boots that I'm trying to not get indigo-y. So I was intentional with some of the things I would wear with these pants, but for the most part, I personally don't mind it. It's par for the course. It's something that I like and enjoy. It makes everything, in my opinion, look a lot cooler once you get some of this crocking. But they do croc a lot. But they also fade very rapidly, and they're looking pretty awesome pretty quickly. So let's take a quick look at some of the fading that we have on these pants. So coming down, you can see the thighs and mostly the knees are fading very, very nicely here. We do have a little bit of whiskering going on as well up here in the thighs. So the fronts are fading very, very nicely. We are seeing a lot of the white threading kind of popping through in the crotch area as well. So any kind of high contact point is fading very, very rapidly. If we go into the pocket area, you can see that the fifth pocket does have some wear on it there as well. And if we fold down the pocket bags, you can see a lot of the indigo crocking on the pocket bags themselves from rubbing on the Sashiko fabric. If we flip the jeans over, you can see my wallet fade coming through on my back right pocket. And then you can also see my pocket knife fade on my back left pocket. Coming down the back of each leg, you can see some nice honeycombs coming out behind each of my knees, as well as, again, some of those high points of those creasings showing some nice white fibers coming through. If we want to take a look at the seat and crotch area, once again, we can see around the back, we are getting a lot of that white fabric coming through on the seat, as well as that center seam coming down from the back center belt loop all the way down. And every time I go to the restroom and I wash my hands, I do get some blue coming off my hands. So I'm getting a lot of transfer to my skin even though I've now been wearing these pants for a month, month and a half, maybe 2 months at this point, and they're still crocking quite a bit even on my skin. But that skin, that like crocking to my hands is not transferring from my hands to other things. Like I use a MacBook at work, so I have the silver and white keyboard and mouse. They're not blue at all. They look completely fine. So I'm not transferring the indigo from my hands to the mouse or anything like that. So they're completely fine. So that secondary transfer, that doesn't seem to be a thing. But I am being careful with the clothing that I wear with these pants, things that I don't want to croc. I did get a little bit of indigo on my Triple Aught Design N1 deck jacket. I wear that's my heavyweight jacket for when it's cold out. So when it's chilly and I'm wearing these because it's nice and cold outside, I'm wearing that jacket. And the inner waistband does have some indigo going all the way around it. You can't see it from the outside. It doesn't matter. The jacket's basically bulletproof, so I don't really care. It's a very, very warm jacket. So when I'm cold and I'm wearing my Sashiko to stay warm and my heaviest jacket to stay warm, I'm fine. But really, that's it. Just a little bit of crocking transfer. But they have been incredibly comfortable to wear. Again, my first pair of Sashiko pants. I've had Sashiko tops, and I absolutely love it. I love the fact, though, that they are fading very, very rapidly. And the more you wear these are going to fade and look awesome super, super fast. So if I lived in these every single day, which I kind of did, I've been basically testing 2 pairs of pants where I'm wearing 1 pair of jeans that I've been testing and these, so I've kind of been swapping back and forth. I do pepper in some of my other pants here or there because I do have other clothes that I just genuinely like to wear and want to wear, so I'm not always just wearing the clothing that I'm testing. I'm peppering some other things, but these have been in heavy rotation, and they fit good, they feel good, and they're wearing really, really well, and they're showing some fade. So if you wanted to have a pair of pants that you want those fades to pop through really, really fast, I'd say maybe jump on the Monster Sashiko pants because they are showing some fades and wear really, really rapidly, much faster than some of my selvage denim does. So it's a good fabric. It's comfortable to wear. It's a 12 ounce, so it's something that you could still wear through the summer months. Now, I said I am wearing these more when it's colder because it just feels a little bit more comfortable. It's just to the touch on the skin. It's, I guess, warmer than like a denim. Like if you go outside and it's cold, you can feel the cold of the denim. If the wind starts whipping, the denim touch your skin, it feels a little colder. Think of like wearing a pair of sweatpants outside when it's really cold versus wearing a pair of jeans outside when it's really cold. These would feel more like you're wearing that pair of sweatpants because they're just a little bit softer, a little bit more cozy. So when the temperatures drop and the wind starts whipping, these just feel a little bit better on the skin. But they are only a 12 ounce, so I feel like they're not going to be too heavy to wear year round, where I find like 12 to 14 ounce, at least in denim, that's like my year round wear. So I can wear them in summer, I can wear them in the winter. So I think this is going to fall in that like 12 ounce, being 12 ounce. I think it's going to fall in that year round wear. It's just that to the touch, they're a little bit softer, they're a little bit more comfortable to wear when it's cold outside. But other than the crocking, they have been a pleasure to wear. So just avoid certain things, really. If I'm wearing this sweatshirt, I wasn't wearing these pants because I didn't want this sweatshirt to turn indigo. If I was wearing a particular pair of boots that I didn't want crocking on, I would just wear a different pair of pants that day or the other pair of pants that I'm testing that day, and that's all it was. But all in all said and done, I'm finding that the Gustin Monster Sashiko pants in indigo are incredibly comfortable, and I think that they are worth the $169 price point. You're getting an American-made garment with Japanese woven Sashiko fabric, and they look good, feel good, and fit well. Just remember, when you're ordering, check the size charts because Gustin does not follow vanity sizing. If you're not sure what that is, go back and watch the section where I talk about sizing again. I'll help you break down and analyze that. Just go out and measure a pair of pants that you have that fit comfortably and look at the size guide and buy the pair of pants that fits the same way. And if you're buying these, Gustin recommends you go up one size. I did, and they fit great. So I hope any of that helped. And if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications the next time I post a brand new video. Good night.